Chapter 1. Leslie and Wesley's Present Situation. Atlanta, September 2012. Welcome to St. Magnolia's Wounded Theater. At least that's what I called it. Within these slick walls reside Atlanta's pish-posh team of premier psychiatrists, psychoanalysts, and relationship counselors who specialize in the broken hearts, crushed egos of the privileged and renowned. Their lavish confessionals perched high above the city are, well, breathtaking. I was here because my husband Wesley insisted this was the only place he'd even consider receiving, as he was loath to say, therapy. And as it was on my first visit, the vast waiting area was packed. Just for the record, Wesley needed therapy. I absolutely did not. The circular reception area held a large round workstation of bird's-eye maple. The countertops of deep brown granite were chiseled and polished. Behind them stood two young women who appeared to have fallen from the pages of Vogue magazine. Above them hung a chandelier worthy of an opera house that I imagined sailed right to America directly from the lips of the finest glassblowers of Murano. Every square foot of their offices was as beautiful as a session was insanely expensive, leaving me to wonder where exactly was this much heralded recession. "I'm here to see Dr. Katz," I said. "And you're Mrs. Carter?" "Thank you." She pecked around on what looked like a keyboard from the Starship Enterprise and smiled when she found my name among those on his appointment calendar. I was officially entered into the captain's log. "Please make yourself comfortable in the waiting area. There's bottled water." "Thanks." My heels clicked across the beige marble flooring that was shot with veins of black and gold. When the veins of gold caught a stream of afternoon light, they sparkled like the proverbial streets of paradise. Perhaps some people thought all this grandeur was a comfort. You know, they must be good at what they do if they can afford all this. Not me. The whole drama was a grand demonstration of conspicuous consumption and their complete disregard for carbon footprint. I shuddered. I took a small bottle of cold water from the refreshment station and sank into one of only two unoccupied, overstuffed velvet club chairs, unscrewed the cap, and took a long drink. Okay, I admit this much, as off-putting as the swank trappings were to me. Well, the chairs were a little like a beautiful womb, upholstered in swirls of deep purple and olive on a field of smooth ecru velvet. I could have slept in them. No, I could have lived in them. If I thought no one would have noticed, I might have pushed one through the door, down the hall, into the elevator, and somehow, with God's grace, I would have smushed it into the back of my car. Just the thought of it gave me a little thrill. And this was a time in my life when thrills were not happening for me in Atlanta. In between the chairs were small tables that held magazines on mental health, extreme adventure travel, vegan living, and every kind of yoga. You could tell a lot about the soul of an organization by the reading material in its waiting area. For my money, these particular choices leaned a little to the side of wacko. But, I reminded myself, my son was a granola boy who had been living in an ashram in Nepal for the last 3 years while he contemplated the universe instead of completing his MBA. It wasn't like Bertie aspired to climb Everest and then come home and become an adult. Not that climbing Everest is a childish thing to do. I'm suggesting that's a lofty goal. No, this was something different. He was completely under the spell of all things Hindu, Himalayan, and Tibetan. His current passion was to photograph the people as they went about their lives in the spectacular landscape near the roof of the world. He was transfixed by the exotic temples and stupas, the smells of burning yak butter candles, and Buddhist monks.